going to try to control the tempo, and that's something Kevin Scolling's teams do very well. And I think it's going to be up to Tennessee's defense. If they want to win on the road, defense is going to have to do it for them.
Tuesday night in the SEC, Tennessee and Vanderbilt from Nashville. Here's Brad Nessler.
All right, Reese, thank you. Earlier today, it was time out from basketball for the Tennessee Volunteers to watch our 44th president and the inauguration of Barack Obama. But now, on a cold night in Nashville, it's time to move inside Old Memorial Gym. We're going to warm things up. There's a whiteout going on with the college student section as we get set for the Commodores and the Volunteers. From Nashville, welcome to ESPN Super Tuesday, presented by KFC. As part of ESPNU Campus Connection, it's SEC basketball, the Volunteers against the Commodores. It's a week celebrating campus life through the eyes of the college student and capturing and exposing the passion of students to college basketball. They are fired up tonight for the 174th meeting between these longtime SEC rivals. And we welcome everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Memorial Gym. Well, on Super Tuesday a week ago, we had some history made. Jody Meeks went off for 54 points to set a Kentucky scoring record. Will we see something like that tonight? Well, we've already had a historic Tuesday, haven't we, especially in our nation's capital. With that in mind, I think it's time for our Star Watch to check in with the Honorable James Joseph Dykes for the swearing in of our Star Watch candidates.
Place your left hand on the ball and repeat after me. I, David Tyler Smith.
I, David Tyler Smith.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To uphold my duties.
To uphold my duties.
As the Star Watch performer from Tennessee tonight.
As a Star Watch performer from Tennessee tonight.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Place your left hand on the basketball and repeat after me.
You want to talk about pressure? Before we tip, we check in with a third member of our team courtside, as always, Janine Edwards. Janine.
Hey, Brad. Well, one player who was moved by today's inauguration is Tennessee's Wayne Chisholm. Chisholm is 21 years old, but had never voted until this year. He told me he was inspired by Barack Obama's focus and organization. And as he watched today's inauguration, he said he felt proud to be witnessing history in the making, proud to have played a part in the process, and proud to be an American. Brad?
Seemed like a very emotional day for everybody today, wasn't it? Let's take a look at the Tennessee Volunteers starting lineup. Bobby Mays, Scotty Hobson, and J.P. Prince with Tyler Smith. And Brian Williams starting tonight, not Wayne Chisholm. We'll tell you why in just a minute. For the hometown Commodores tonight, instead of Wayne Chisholm, and Bruce Pearl told Jimmy and I about 25 minutes ago, they're going to go after Wayne Chisholm to try to get him to get the first foul of the ball game. I'd rather have him watch the first foul of the ball game. Well, here we go. And it's the Commodores who will bring it into the front court at Memorial Gym for the first time.
Tennessee opens up in that man-to-man defense, but they have shrunk the floor. All five defenders staying inside that three-point line. A little bit different than what they've done so far this season.
Here's Tinsley on the outside. Nice job defensively on the opening possession by Tennessee. Shot clock winding as Ogilvie drives. It's tipped. And out comes Ryan Williams with a rebound.
Now we get the first look at Vanderbilt's half-court defense. Brad, they lead the nation in field goal percentage defense. A very well-drilled defensive team in white tonight.
Here's Bobby Mays trying to penetrate. Dishes outside of Prince on a fadeaway.
You know, good job by J.P. Prince to not settle for a three. He has struggled shooting the ball from the three-point line, so he takes up the slack and knocks down a tough two.
I guess he knew he was 1 for 14 outside the arc, huh?
Yes, sir.
This guy's a pretty good outside shooter. Beal misses a three. Tough offensive rebound, though. Pearl came in here last year with the #1 team in the country after beating Memphis, but it only lasted 48 hours before him off 72-69. That was back at the end of February. We were here, and that was one rockin' night in Nashville. Here's a dish, Ogilvie. Prince. There's his record against Tennessee.
Brad, you mentioned why Brian Williams is in the starting lineup as opposed to Chisholm, and this is the reason why. Ogilvie goes right at the rim, and Williams picks up that first foul as opposed to Chisholm. So that's a
guys always say that a lot of times Chisholm gets the first basket for us, but I'm still pulling him out of there.
Yeah.
He'll get the two some other time. So Ogilvie got one of two.
Vanderbilt is a position defense, Brad. They don't get out and overextend and try to run through passing lanes. a real premium on making you make shots over the top of their outstretched arms.
Here's Tyler Smith backing in. Baseline, tough shot, and out of bounds.
22% shot. It's a tough two from the two-point territory on the floor.
The inbound will come from Prince underneath the basket. I'm sure all of you that watch SEC basketball know the configuration of this facility with the benches on the end, but it is a little bit different. It's a lot easier for the Commodores. We're used to it than the opponents that come in here. Here's Tinsley. Ogilvie. For three, rattles out. J.P. Prince on the run.
Good job of Ogilvie to miss the shot, but then run to be the last line of defense and throw up a wall on Prince.
Ryan Williams asking for the ball. Outside jumper won't go for Hobson. And it's Tinsley with a rebound.
Yeah, both teams have really struggled knocking down three-point shots in SEC play. So you would expect both teams to shrink the floor in their half-court defense and see which team can knock down a three first.
Well, remember, just Shane Foster alone last year for Vanderbilt at 134 of their 300 plus as Tyler Smith flushes on the other end, and that was a nice outlet by Brian Williams to get that started.
Now, Tyler Smith he's a good shooter, he's a good passer, he's a good rebounder, but he is a great competitor, something that Vanderbilt must match in this ball game.
How about Brian Williams? 3 rebounds already. Maybe Bruce Pearl made the right choice starting him instead of Chisholm. And there's a push on the inside and a foul on Vanderbilt.
Smith comes in averaging 21 points a game in SEC play. And he's a floater, a runner, a finisher in transition. And he is the engine that drives this Big Orange bus over to Nashville from Knoxville. He's the heart of this team. One of the most competitive guys in this league, along with Jody Meeks, Devin Downey, Jarvis Bernardo, Mississippi State. Those guys have motors.
Chisholm in. Williams got a standing ovation from his teammates on the bench on the other end when he hit the seat over there. Here's Chisholm fresh off the bench for 3.
Now, how good does Bruce Pearl look early in this ball game? Williams gets 3 rebounds and picks up a hard foul, and then he brings in Chisholm to knock down a 3.
And we said many times he gets the first basket for him when he's out there. It wasn't the first basket, but it was the first time he touched it.
Impressed with Tennessee's defense early in this game.
Yeah, me too.
Keeping guys out of the lane, something they've really struggled with.
That was a good drive. Just no finish in there. The Chain Gang. Tennessee, Chisholm, heat check. Got it. Well, now he's looking real good. Chisholm with 6 on 2 touches. Well, he was happy he voted. He's probably happy he didn't start.
and he happy he trailed on that play to give us the old-fashioned Chisholm trail for 3. There he is, just kind of sneaks into the picture right there, takes his time, catches it in rhythm, and lets it fire. And the first coaching adjustment in this ball game goes to Bruce Pearl before the game ever started. Williams in the starting lineup. Let's bring in Chisholm, and it has worked perfectly for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Williams got 3 rebounds and an outlet pass to Tyler Smith for a slam. Chisholm touches it twice, doesn't even put it on the floor, and ends up with 6 points. So a great start for Tennessee. Something that Coach Stallings did not want to do is call a timeout with 6 seconds before the TV timeout, but he had to because it's 10-1.
Well, and he also knows Tennessee's a team that can put that full court pressure on you right now and turn it over, and all of a sudden you're down 11 or 12 going into that first TV timeout.
Vandy 0 for 6 from the floor.
And they have missed a couple of gimme putts right in front of the rim to start this ball game.
The only point they have is on a 1 for 2 from the free throw line by Ogilvie.
Now out of the timeout, Tennessee goes to a zone, something they've played maybe a handful of possessions this year. It's a 3-2 zone. You're going to attack that short corner, give it in the hands of number 4.
Nice drive. Ogilvie found a crease in that zone and took it up off the glass. He's got 3. Swatted out of there. Chisholm trying to take it to the rack, rejected by Taylor. And now Taylor on the drive, up and over everything. And they're going to say that was touched by somebody. I would assume that it would have been to go that high over the glass. Great start for Tennessee on the road. 15-29 till halftime. They're up 7 early.
Reese Davis with you in the studio. Boston.
All right, Reese, here it's Tennessee early. 10-3, 15-29 remaining in the first half. Let's check in with Janine.
Well, Brad, last Wednesday after their loss to Kentucky Tuesday night, Tyler Smith called a players-only meeting. It was the team's day off. But in light of that loss, he told me it was productive in that every single player spoke. They all accepted blame, they were their own worst critic, and they admitted that they have not shown enough unity. Smith said he, for one, knows he needs to improve his body language, one thing he said he needs to work on. So the next day, Smith, Chisholm, and Bobby Mays told Coach Pearl that the team intends to be more accountable.
Well, you know what? Every coach needs a beef jerky player. A beef jerky player is somebody that you can chew on and it doesn't faze him. And that's what Tyler Smith is for Bruce Pearl. So he has the respect of all of his teammates because they know that Bruce Pearl has put Tyler Smith through the ringer the last couple of years, and he responds. So they listen to Tyler Smith in that players-only meeting because he's a beef jerky kind of guy.
7 on the shot clock. Gonna have to hurry. There goes the three, blocked by Prince. Never had a chance. Nice job defensively by Tennessee. And now a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Taylor.
See several times in person, multiple times on film. Probably the best defensive 4 or 5 minutes they've strung together all season to start this ball game.
No doubt. If they could play defense like that an entire game, they would be a threat not only in this conference but to anybody they play.
Well, they've proven that. You know, their wins over Georgetown and Marquette are going to have great shelf life. A win at Middle Tennessee, a win over Siena. This is a team that, surprising to me, Tennessee not even receiving a vote in this week's top 25. That's hard to explain.
It really is. Chisholm, baseline. Oh, nice move by Chisholm. Off the glass, he's got 8 to lead everybody in scoring.
Vanderbilt can't get anything going in their transition offense. They are not real fluid in the half court. So when the game stays half court right now, it favors the team in orange.
Well, I think I'm going to watch the monitors for a while, seeing Goulburn and Williams are right in front of me here at half court, and I can't see anything. That's because we sit subterranean here. We got a worm's eye view, folks, which is one of the, this and maybe Williams Arena in Minneapolis, one of the few venues where we sit underneath. As far as where the court is, we're looking right at everybody's ankles, basically. And a foul. Brad Nessler, Jimmy Dykes, Janine Edwards in Nashville at Memorial Gym, where Tennessee's jumped to an early 9-point lead. Andy has been unable to get anything going offensively. Tennessee's played very well on defense, and Wayne Chisholm is just shining right now with 10 points, and he didn't start the ball game.
Boy, and Bruce Pearl doing a great job of communicating with his team, Brad. The team benches are on the end lines here, so Bruce Pearl has to have hand signals. He calls out a hand signal play. They go right to Chisholm inside.
Beal's going to try 3. Tipped, and he got his own miss. Still can't connect. Boy, they're having all kinds of trouble from the floor right now. Chisholm's got the rebound. Tennessee by 11, and we're just under 13 in the half. Chisholm thought about a 3 and maybe thought better of it. And Wayne's got the last 10 points for the Volunteers. Out for 2 opponents, Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
There you see Bruce Pearl has great communication in the first half with his defense on this end of the floor, but it will switch now in the second half and get away from him. It's another reason why Tennessee is off to a great defensively. Bruce Pearl barking out on every pass.
And loose ball, let's see. The officials are going to have a little communication. And
actually had the volume up. You talk about some pressure on you when the coach is listening to what you said about him last year. But he said it's a very difficult building to play and to coach in. They spent a lot of time this week on their hand signals and communicating. A very odd configuration on this floor.
Oh, line drive goes. Vandy will take him any way they can get him. That line drive by Drake.
Typically, Vanderbilt has not been offensive sensitive this year. When their offense isn't working, they continue to lock in and defend. It's something they must do right now to stay in this ball game.
You mentioned the #1 team in the country in field goal percentage defense, 36.6. That's not following suit right now, I can tell you that. 13-7 coming up. It's ESPNU Extra Credits on the first half. In our ESPNU Campus Connection Extra Credit segment, Vanderbilt student Jackie Berger takes us to the Commons and what students are doing to preserve the planet here at Vanderbilt.
In Arkansas on my off nights, keeping up with the kids on campus.
Student body here is one of my favorite. They are very inventive, let's put it that way. Much like Duke, much like a lot of places we go. The students are smarter than broadcasters, we know that. Short on the jumper, Ogilvy trying to follow the miss, and he's pushed underneath by Tyler Smith, who's going to pick up his second foul.
Collins drilled home the point this afternoon, the importance of climbing on the glass.
Now you see that hand signal, and you can hear that whistle. These guys, that is like having your German Shepherd outside with a silent whistle. When he whistles, everybody in white turns around. They know the sound of Kevin's whistle on the far end of the court.
I'd go back to Ogilvy. He can get Tennessee in foul trouble, but that's a bad feed the post angle.
Yeah, they tried out of your screen. Tinsley having some trouble getting it inbound. Tennessee does a great job in the past with that, forcing turnovers, and there's another one.
You know, he was inbounding the ball from the coffin corner, the most difficult place to inbounds it. In Tennessee, they can really swarm you.
In the last 87 games, James, that is the 327th turnover forced by Tennessee in an inbounds play.
That's how they do it. And they crowd that baseline out of bounds as long as the official will let them do it. Vanderbilt's man-to-man at times, Brad, almost looks like a zone, but it's not. Kind of a packed the lane mentality, and again, the best defense in the nation percentage-wise, these guys in white.
Tyler Smith, not a big outside jump shooter, took a three there and missed, and Brian Williams has the rebound and just kind of moseys around to hand it off out on top to Prince and Mays.
Ogilvy did not go check his guy. He just turned and got his head on a swivel and found the basketball, but he forgot about getting contact with his man.
Almost the midway point of the first half, and the Volunteers have totally taken the Memorial Gym crowd out of this on a whiteout night, especially for the student body here. Prince, jumper, the rebound will come off to Drake. See if Vandy can connect on the other end.
Vandy will let Prince take that shot all night long.
Ogilvy threw
an exact answer. And I talked to Shane Foster today, former great Vanderbilt player and a terrific shooter. He's over in Italy. I said, what do you focus when you shoot the basketball? And he said, I look at the back part of the rim. And he gave a very good teaching point for all shooters in the game today. Know what you're aiming at.
He was an awesome shooter, especially in this gym. Over 2,000 career points. We saw him score 32 the last time we were in here, last February 26th, in the upset win over #1 Tennessee.
Often they look at that back part of the rim to increase their percentage of a make.
Jimmy, another turnover on inbounds play in the last minutes. This one rolled right over in front of us. It'll go back into the backcourt where Tennessee's going to have it. So another Vandy turnover.
He's at a hot level right now in front of his bench, and he has 2 turnovers because of it.
We've been stuck on 14-7 for over 2 minutes. Chisholm gives it up. Hobson going to give it back to Chisholm for 3. Prince, offensive rebound over Tinsley and scores.
That again, Vanderbilt not checking someone out. They're not getting body on body and rooting people back. If it's a jumping contest, the guys in orange are going to win 4 out of 5 times.
Tinsley's going to pull up, try, long jumper, and got it. That might get Vandy going. Tinsley, that's his 38-3. He leads the club in 3-pointers, and that cuts it to 16-10.
I think Kevin Stallings says, I'm very thankful that I'm only down 6 as poorly as we've shot the ball on our home floor. You see Tennessee now looking back 94 feet to get the play call from Bruce Pearl.
And that pass from Prince almost hit Chisholm because Wayne was looking back that way too. Got to keep your head on a swivel, as you said. Chisholm drives, baseline. Well, he got the message. A dozen for Chisholm.
Vanderbilt does not have a defender right now that can guard Wayne Chisholm. Kevin Stallings has to come up with an answer for that. With 8:36 to go.
Excuse me, Jimmy, trying a heat check from the outside, and Chisholm pulls it down. Chisholm brings Ogilvy away from the basket, too, when he comes way out on top.
Williams and Chisholm both are in the game for Tennessee, Brad. Two bigs in the game. It's another reason why they're doing damage on the boards.
Hobson leaves it for Prince. That's Bobby Mays on the dribble against Beal. Fadeaway jumper, tough shot. And Beal with a rebound. He tried to take it all the way and had 18-10. Tennessee holding on to the lead with 7:52 remaining first half. All right, Reese, we'll see you in 7 minutes 52 seconds. Our Super Tuesday presented by KFC, 18-10, part of ESPNU Campus Connection Week. Wayne Chisholm didn't start the ball game. First time he touched it, 3, got it. Second time, Jimmy?
3, got it.
He's added 3 other field goals from 2-point range. He's got 12 points.
Wayne Chisholm probably just lost his spot in the starting lineup.
Yeah, no kidding. If you're going to play like that off the bench, that's right. What's going to happen to you. Boy, what a story, huh? Ron Steele, one of our favorite guys in the SEC, one of the great kids, and a terrific player that's been hampered by injuries, and apparently that's it. Boy, going to miss him personally, if not as a player.
Right, he's as good as they come.
Nice reverse layup by J.P. Prince. He's had a nice first half. 6 points for Prince. And the lead's out to 10 again.
And Vanderbilt scoring up in this ball game. They have struggled in the half court. Not as fluid as they've been in the past because of their lack of three-point shooting.
Beal's going to try a triple. Short, Chisholm the rebound.
Brad, those are the looks you have to make now. You're on your home floor, a wide open 3, uncontested. You got to knock them down.
He and Tinsley have to nail those when they've got the opening. And one gave it up for the other. Tinsley might have had just as good a look as Beal did.
I think Tennessee is very happy with the pace of this game. Kind of a tractor pull, and we don't normally describe Tennessee in that same sentence.
Right.
But they don't want Vanderbilt to get loose in transition in this building.
Rejection inside by Vandy. Ezeli swatted that one out of there. His 17th block shot of the year.
Without Ogilvy on the floor, it's a prime time for Vanderbilt to knock down a 3.
Well, they could use it, that's for sure. They're looking for Beal. Here's Taylor. That's not a good pass, but luckily for them, it got kicked. Doubleheader noon and 7.
UConn kind of quietly sitting there in that number 3 position, and defensively they're starting to defend with Stanley Robinson in the lineup, and then when he goes out, 3 guards around 2 bigs. But Brad, I think it's important for every team to be able to answer a question: what are we best at, and how good are we at it? Up until last week, Tennessee didn't really have an answer to that, and it looks like they're buying into we're going to be really good defensively from here on out.
Oh boy. Maybe a little too much showmanship on that break.
That could trigger Vanderbilt right here.
Taylor. Well, it's probably going to be a 4-point swing. What could have been a layup on one end looks to be
2 points. If you just drive that basketball, a sure 2-on-1, if not a 3-on-1. You talk about a possible 4-point swing if these 2 free throws go down.
Well, they don't, so the second of 2. Under 6 minutes. This one's flying by. And so far, Vanderbilt just 11 points to show for the first 14 minutes and change.
And Brad, because Vanderbilt packs in their defense, Tennessee is allowed to dribble the ball, pick it up, and look back at Bruce Pearl, get the play call, and then come back in and start their offense over.
Now that's a better line. Tyler Smith to J.P. Prince. And Prince and Chisholm have now 20 of Tennessee's 22 points.
Brad, that's exactly what happened. Tennessee had time to look back at Bruce Pearl, get the play call, 2 or 3 passes, and throw an alley-oop.
They've matched their biggest lead now of 11. Now this time, this is a good one here.
Well, look at Prince. I mean, he just got a free run at the rim. Vanderbilt falls asleep defensively. You have to always have an awareness right here. Jermaine Beal's got to drop back. He's a perimeter defender, but he is the back line guy. That zone defense, and Vanderbilt fell asleep. Tennessee made him pay.
Tyler Smith's only got 2 points, but you never look at his scoring and say, well, that's what it's all about. That assist shows you what he can do. He is 8th in the conference in assists. And he's 6'7", and he's kind of the glue guy of this whole team. In the ball game. Coach, you can't come way back here by half court, though. Gadu goes in, and Tyler Smith goes out. And Tyler Smith has 2 fouls with 4:57 remaining in the half. So that might be all we'll see of him this half. We'll have to wait and see. Don't want to pick up a cheap 3rd foul in the last 4 minutes.
Vanderbilt has to get number 4, Ogilvie, involved offensively. They don't have enough offense without that guy in double figures in this ball game.
He's only got 3 points. Taylor trying to spin in the paint. Finger roll won't go. Chisholm rebound. And the outlet to Tatum.
Brad, because Vanderbilt can't knock down threes right now, Ogilvie is covered up inside. So the lack of three-point shooting is really hurting the big Aussie for Vanderbilt.
Tatum pull-up triple. Rattled it out. And the rebound is Beals. Beal has no points, averaging 12 a game. Tried to take it baseline, and they cut him off at the pass.
Tennessee, Brad, continues to defend A.J. Ogilvie with a man and a half. His man is not leaving him, and a half man is also shadowing A.J. Ogilvie, something that Kevin Stallings, I'm sure, will talk about in this timeout.
Frustrating 16 minutes for the hometown Commodores. They trail their arch rivals from Knoxville by 11. All right, Reese, on a Super Tuesday here, an inauguration day, I guess the folks here think that I can. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll try.
They don't think you can. They know you can, just like me.
That's Sam Sabulis right there. Sam puts body. We usually have signs for one or both or all 3 of us. That's a pretty good one, though. I look good in red, white, and blue.
You look great in any color.
Thank you.
9 on the shot clock, and Ogilvie has not had a touch come out of that timeout.
And now they're going to have to hurry just to get one away. Here's Ogilvie with 2 on the clock. Got it up off the glass. Tip in twice, thrice. Still no go. And finally, going to have a foul. Nope, it's going to be Tennessee ball.
In the game for Tennessee, number 30.
Brad, Vanderbilt trying to get some dirty baskets in this ball game. Right there's one attempt at one, another attempt, once, twice, 3 times the lady. Does not work for the Commodores on that replay.
They are 4 for 25, Jimmy. That is horrible. Tennessee, we've been talking about their lack of defense all year. Some of it is they're doing a great job defensively. Some of it's just Vanderbilt's frustration in close. They can't buy one right now.
Chisholm continues to float around on the perimeter as a big in this ball game with Williams inside.
Tennessee turns it over. See if Taylor can take it coast to coast. He's fouled.
But his story, his background really resonated today with he and I at lunch today when he talked about Barack Obama's speech. And no matter what life deals you, get up, brush yourself off, and get back to work. And this is a guy that has done it. I had a great lunch with Jimmy Wayne, and all eyes and ears on Barack Obama today in this town for sure.
Well, Jimmy's had quite a story, and you know a lot more about it than a lot of folks do probably. And as you said, one of the up-and-comers and the individuals that break the rules
and saying, you know what, you no longer deserve the right to coach in the NCAA for a year or so. I think they'll start getting a lot of things done in that violation department.
Wayne Chisholm just quieted the crowd big time. Just when the Vandy crowd was trying to come to life with the score, the gap closing a little bit. It's right now at 9. You know, I'm thinking the president, I know he's got the big ball tonight and everything, and Janine and Jimmy and Nestler are there. I just got to check the score. So,
yeah.
Mr. President, if you're checking the score, it's 24-15. Now, go back.
Go back to the ball.
Go back to the ball.
Yeah. Tell Michelle how beautiful she looks tonight. You know, Mr. President has a very good fake right and go left
Yes,
move.
he does.
He's very good at that.
Yeah, he's got good hang time in the lane. Off the miss. George Drake with a rebound. And we're down to 1:44 in the half.
Bruce Pearl thinking we should be up 15 points in this ball game. He looks up and only up 9. As good as their defense has been.
Offensive foul. Nice job by J.P. Prince to hold his ground. Goulburn with a foul. Points and a half. 24. They're going to have to go really quickly to get to that right now.
As much as they've struggled offensively, Brad, they cannot let it affect their defense, and a lot of teams do. Vanderbilt disciplined enough to defend and stay in this ball game.
They're a stop and a three-pointer away from being right in the thick of things in this low-scoring first half.
Chisholm just going to work inside.
Well, they didn't get the stop. They got Chisholm for a chance for a three-point play. And he might get a technical. He did, I think.
Brad, watch at the end of the play. Chisholm gets fouled. He's having a terrific half, but then he starts talking and yakking in front of people's faces, and that's an easy call for the baseline official. No excuse, no reason for what Wayne Chisholm does right there.
Well, what you definitely don't do is pull your headband off in front of the Vanderbilt bench with one of the officials right in front of you, and the technical on Chisholm.
It almost looked like he was John at Kevin Stallings right there in the background, and Wayne Chisholm is off to a terrific start in this ball game. Jay Billis talked about in the studio who plays with poise in a rivalry game, and that was not poise by Wayne Chisholm.
Here's another look. Again, it was a nice move. Working to his left with the left hand off the glass. The excitement is fine. You don't have to take off the headband and start jawing in front of the Vanderbilt bench. One of the officials that right now, and trying to explain himself, I guess. He still gets to go back to the free throw line, by the way, because he was fouled in the act of shooting. So a chance for a three-point play. He's going to get booed mercilessly here in Memorial Gym. Talk about a guy that's improved his free throw shooting. He's 9th in the conference. He's never shot 60% or better on a season, and he has really improved in that area. Not on that one. Maybe that's poetic justice for the Vanderbilt fans. I don't know. Again, Vandy, they could just get it down a little bit closer in the single-digit column. I think they'd be happy with that at halftime. Here's Ogilvie, dishes out to Taylor for three, and he got it. That door stop, and this place is going to come unglued. It hasn't had a chance to tonight because of the lack of offense by the Doors. The Doors will come off this place if they stop Tennessee here. 30 seconds left in the half. On the shot clock. Tab, pick and roll to Williams. Nice adjustment by the big guy in midair. And now Vandy, the coach, has got the basketball. That's not what you need. Going to have to hustle. 10 seconds.
They wasted 6 or 7, and now they've got to go looking back at Kevin Stallings.
Beal's going to probably have to take it himself. Nope, the kick out at the buzzer. Air ball by Taylor. So they wasted some time, and they wasted probably the chance for a pretty good attempt at a basket, and the lowest point total in the first half this season. Bruce Pearl's team's got the lead. Janine's with him.
That's right. Hey, Coach Pearl, your defense seemed to be working brilliantly until just like a moment or so ago. The momentum has shifted. What's happening?
Well, 20 points is not a bad, whether it would be a moment ago or not. You hold the Vanderbilt team on their home floor. Our defense has been challenged. It's been questioned. I thought our kids really battled, and, you know, down the other end, I thought we did a good job of getting the ball inside. That last free throw was the first free throw that Tennessee's taken all half.
That's right. Now your decision to not start Wayne Chisholm. He's got, what, 16 points right now? How did that come about?
Well, I felt like Kevin's a great coach, and they're going to go at Wayne right away, get him in foul trouble, and I said if I could just take that out of their hands as a weapon, bringing Wayne off the bench, and I thought he did a pretty good job, made me look like I have a half idea.
Like brilliant.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly, and you did look it. See you second half.
Yeah, he'll take 5 out of 27 from the floor for Vanderbilt. 19% shooting. 28-20, Tennessee leading on the road. Time to check in with our halftime report, Reese and Jay. Fellas.
All right, Brad, glad to have you with us on the UPS halftime report. That was very good defensive half by Tennessee. Their defense has been maligned. However, you shoot 5 for 27 in the first half. You're only down 8. All is not lost when you have a second half to go.
No, the game's not over. Nobody's suggesting that, but it was a good step forward for Tennessee. I mean, to come out in that environment and to play a solid half of defense where they weren't getting beat off the dribble. They didn't overextend. They didn't gamble too much. They forced this team to take tough shots. I mean, that's a good block shot by Prince, blocking a jump shot and really challenging that shot. But notice how they're not getting beat. Not a straight line drive into the middle. Now, obviously, that shot easily could have gone down, but at least it wasn't a straight line drive where you're getting beat off the drive and giving up an easy basket. And there was a better job of communication, better job of everybody seeing the ball. It was just a solid half. Now, Tennessee's offense wasn't that good. You got to give a lot of credit to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's really good defensively. You talk about building a wall.
Right.
Like Vanderbilt doesn't go out past that three-point line. They will challenge late, but they really pack that defense in, and they really force you to shoot over them.
Worst offensive half of the season for Vanderbilt. Conversely, best defensive half of the year for Tennessee. Fewest points they've allowed in a half of basketball all season. Elsewhere in the
Heard by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Memphis has
Wayne Chisholm on our campus connection. He is connecting from the floor. Presented by KF. Tennessee leads the way 28-20 on a day when you can get sworn in. If you're a Vandy fan, you're just plain swearing right now. They shot 19% in the first half. You can't win, but they're only down 8 on their home gym. Not bad, Jimmy.
They don't have an answer right now defensively for how to defend Wayne Chisholm. I mean, this is a guy that has 16 points in the first half. So what adjustment has Vanderbilt made defensively on Wayne Chisholm? Something we need to watch early in the second half.
All right, let's take a look statistically how things went in the first half. 18.5% from the floor is not going to do it for Vanderbilt. They shot 5 for 27. And on the other side of things, Wayne Chisholm, who didn't start the ball game, hit his first 2 shots from three-point land, then worked his way inside, 16 points and 5 rebounds. And Tennessee shot 46% from the floor. So still just an 8-point game as we are set to start the second half, and Tennessee will have it into the front court for the first time.
Tennessee only made 2 3-pointers in that first half, 2 out of 9. So no reason right now for Vanderbilt to overextend defensively. Defensively, they're fine in this game.
You know who the 2 were? Wayne Chisholm. The first 2 times he touched the ball. Here's Hobson. He gets himself in some trouble. Taylor, nice job defensively. Hobson throws it up there and tried to go get it himself. Tyler Smith with a rebound. And the ball never hits the rim. So
He is pleased that his team is only down by 8, but he is not pleased with the fact that they have not been able to make easy shots, layups. He told his guys at halftime, just relax, you're playing too tight. And I asked him, how can you do a better job of guarding Wayne Chisholm, who has 16 points on you? He said, well, we can't guard him any worse, can we?
That sounds like Kevin. Well, we'll see how they do against Chisholm in the second half. Here's a bump by Prince. Bargaining, he said, do you realize that's the first free throw we shot in the first half?
But Vanderbilt does a great job at it defending without fouling. Opponents only get 11 points a game from the free throw strike, so it's not uncommon for Vanderbilt not to foul.
Here's a guy that's got to come to life in the second half, and Ogilvy had the ball.
His offense in this half. His offense is right in front of him. That should help Vanderbilt out in this second half. He now has contact with his offense.
Doesn't have to whistle now. 3-pointer, rebound off the miss, and a walk on Tatum. So the second turnover of the second half against Tennessee. Coming into this when leading at the break. You can take that for what it's worth, but it was 28-20 Tennessee to start this second half that is scoreless in the first minute and a half. Beal was very quiet in the first half. That's a little bit louder. Cuts it to 6.
Great job by Beal to trail the cutter. The cutter went almost like a fullback, clearing the way for the running back. Great read by Beal.
Again, the crowd is trying. Tatum for 3. That'll quiet him down. Cameron Tatum's first basket is his 29th three-pointer of the year. And the ball kicked by Prince out of bounds.
For a running back, that time Beal, the running back, gets to the end zone.
Taylor on a crossover, palmed it, turns it over. Vandy had 6 turnovers in the first half. And they can ill afford too many miscues to stay in this ball game. Down 9. Tennessee won in Knoxville last year by 20, then came in here and was upset as the #1 team in the country.
Now Bruce Pearl has his offense right in front of him this half. So anything he wants to call is within earshot of his kids.
Williams a kick out. Tatum trying another triple. Attempt one of the older ones in the SEC. It started the 1921-22 season. You know who the president was then?
I do not.
Warren Harding.
Warren Harding.
Just a little bit of history for you there, Cards.
I think you did a lot of reading today. You went in the depths to come up with that one.
I think the guys in the truck helped me out on that one. Craig Rothberg came up with that, I think. I did ask the question, though. The guys in the truck trying to answer, trying to help, as always.
Boy, in Vanderbilt, nobody going to the offensive glass on the miss.
And ball out of bounds. 8 in the first half, but had 16 points and 5 rebounds. Here he is offensively in the lane with a finger roll. They're going to send him to the free throw line.
Brad Ogilvie is the leading scorer for Vanderbilt, and now they're using Brian Williams with a big body and active feet to throw different looks at Ogilvie. They're not completely playing in front. They're not always playing from behind. They're throwing changeup to him. They throw a fastball, then a curve, then a slider. They're giving Ogilvie different looks right now defensively, and Vanderbilt cannot get him involved in the game.
Ogilvie's been playing with a bruised right heel that kept him maybe his heel, but he's certainly not the guy that we've seen a lot of times, especially in this gym.
He wears a protective boot around campus right now, protecting that foot.
That's his campus connection, I guess.
That's his campus connection boot. Yeah. He needs to get connected offensively in this game.
Well, you got that right. Gomer misses a 3. Kept alive, though. Now in the lane. In the lane. As Goldburn stays with it.
Well, that's as close to that out-of-bounds stripe, and he's out of bounds. A lot of times that baseline official gets too close to the play and loses depth and will miss that call, and that's what happened.
And remember, the way this place is set up, there's on that end with the photographers and everything, there's not a lot of room to work for an official or anybody else for that matter. Tyler Smith, tough shot. Only his second field goal, but the hang time for Tyler Smith puts Tennessee back in front by their biggest margin again of 11.
Again, Brad, Tyler Smith is a good shooter, but he's a great competitor. And that basket had more to do with the size of his ticker.
Chisholm, block 1, foul 24, timeout 15:53 remaining. Our campus connection, that group.
Grandiose. There you go, guys. That's key. Make the mundane grandiose.
That's what Shane Foster and Chris Lofton used to do for these two teams. We're looking for the grandiose comeback here by Vanderbilt, down 35-26.
How does who he was talking about relate to man-to-man defense?
I'm sure there's some sort of man. Well, it would have been man-to-man if he would have passed down until they let the student body in, and then the same 15 that were sitting out in the hallway freezing to death were freezing outside by our trucks, and they still got the best seats in the house.
Brad, Kevin Stallings, I think, is one of the sharpest offensive minds in the college game. In 3 years, they have run the Princeton offense, motion offense, and sets. And right now, he's going to have to go deep into his back pocket and come up with some offense for Vanderbilt to get back in this ball game.
Oh, what a pick that Tatum ran into. Nobody hollered help. And now underneath, nice drive.
Ogilvie, something that he seldom does, is not hit double figures.
He's got 1 field goal.
Yeah. And Williams just continues to do a good job of banging him and throwing different looks at Ogilvie.
Great. Tips it in. He kept working at it. He got bumped on the baseline, didn't get the basket, get the foul on Tatum. And then with 2 more chances, he gets it back to single digits, and the crowd's alive.
As bad as Vanderbilt's offense has been in this ball game, their defense has stayed solid. That's hard to do from the coaching standpoint.
And the rebound is going to be out of bounds to Vandy. George, 3-pointer by Beal. Would have been huge. He got a good look. It rimmed out for him. Hobson. Tough shot.
Yeah. Guy's a scorer. He's not a great shooter, but he knows how to score that basketball. I said Tennessee's going to have to make some tough twos in this game, some 22% shots, and they just made another one.
Yeah, they did. Ryan Williams again overplaying A.J. Ogilvy underneath and knocked it out of bounds. Good hoops presented by Disney Parks. Tyler Smith coast to coast and one. Just like that, Tyler Smith can do that to you.
That's still the best in the country, Tennessee, at getting steals off out of bounds. And Tyler Smith just does a great job of reading that basketball while it's in flight. And as soon as it left the passer's hands, it was a 50-50 ball. And number one came up with a 50-50.
Jimmy, if I'm not wrong, that's 3 tonight on inbound plays. And they all turned into baskets, and I think one was a 3-point play. So you start doing the math, and you start adding possessions by not only giving your opponent a chance to score on one end, but you go down and get a 3-point play on the other end. Do that 3 or 4 times a game. You're going to win by about 12. They're up by 12 right now.
Can that guy Janine was talking to figure out that equation you just gave us? I don't know, but it's a good equation. You're right.
Bobby Mays almost had a breakaway, but he gave it back.
Vanderbilt almost needs to get the game scrambled a little bit. Usually we describe Tennessee over the years as scrambling the game, but Vanderbilt needs to scramble it up some.
Prince on the run. Ahead to Smith. The extra pass to Mays. Good feed by Tyler Smith. Bobby Mays just waiting for it for his first basket, and the lead swells to 14. That three-pointer will help the cause. Kingang. Only his 5th of the year. Boy, did they need it right there as they were down 14. But Tennessee moving the ball well on the road and leading by 11 with 13 and change remaining. Just a game so far has not. And his team is down 11. Let's check in.
It was a milestone, and he said, when I came here, I came under the premise that America is the land of opportunity, but until today, that opportunity excluded becoming president of the United States. He said it was a momentous day for everyone.
I know they had cameras on several of the networks today with folks in Nigeria watching, and obviously with the time difference watching.
Tough academic standards of Vanderbilt and admission policy. You have to be creative in your recruiting if you're Kevin Stallings, and they are. And they're very good at selling their product here in Nashville.
Three-pointer, got it from the outside. And the guy that Janine was just talking about just gave his team a huge lift. 44-36.
No, he's 6'10", but he played perimeter up until last year. So he's a perimeter threat.
Hobson will try to answer with a triple and a chance for a 4-point play. Whoa, talk about a killer. Just when you have the crowd on your side, you hit a big shot offensively, and then Scotty Hobson, the freshman, with Taylor making a run at him and knocking him down, and he's got a chance for a 4-point play.
Look at Taylor fly out of control at a shooter. If you're going to lunge at a shooter, you better lunge to his left or to his right and make sure you fly by him. Taylor lunged right into the chest of 32 in orange.
Well, no further damage done. And Taylor's the guy that got the rebound. So we exchange 3-point plays, and it remains an 11-point lead for Tennessee. Nice drive on the baseline. He stepped on the baseline. Kingang, good drive, but turns it over. Well, 11:57. Vandy needs to cut into that lead to have a chance to keep their winning streak against SEC teams alive on their home gym. That is King Rice in the top of your screen exhorting.
Well, because Tennessee is doing a good job of staying connected to him during the Campus Connection Week, and they're throwing different looks at him. You see Williams fronting, play from behind. Then Nagadu comes in and gets a shot at him, and they're always having one guy on him and another half defender in the ballpark. And A.J. Ogilvy just cannot get untracked and get loose in this game. A little frustration from the big Aussie right now. Kevin Stallings getting going right now with just under 12 to go.
Kind of like your offensive tackle working against an all-pro defensive end, and the tight end chips him every time he comes in there. You got 1.5 guys bumping him around. That's what they've been doing.
And he has to keep working. He has got to keep working. He can't defend himself.
Prince, the extra pass. Tyler Smith scores inside. Now the lead is 13 again. Drake thought about a three. They work it around the perimeter. Tinsley has been real quiet. He had 1 3-pointer in the first half. That's it.
You got J.P. Prince on him, Tennessee's best perimeter defender. Tinsley cannot shake loose.
Drake and up and under. Nice move. He doesn't look like a guy that only scores 4 points a game. He's got 10.
Brad, Vanderbilt's making, again, enough dirty baskets in the game to stay with it and enough opportunities. They have got to knock down some perimeter shots, though.
Once they hit that 10-minute mark halfway through this half, they've got to make every possession count and get some stops on Tennessee. Now we got a late whistle and a foul. I didn't hear it from way over here. It's going to be on Chingang, and that is 4.
I think they got Chingang for pulling the jersey as both players came off that floor.
And Tyler Smith goes to the free throw line. Where he's 1 for 1 tonight. Looking for his 10th points. Doesn't get it though, but Hobson's all alone. Nobody boxed out, number 32. And Scotty Hobson just goes airborne to make it 51-38.
Boy, a major mistake. You're fighting from behind on your home floor, and you have to take care of all the small things. That's a small thing that just went wrong, and Tennessee took advantage of it.
Three-pointer won't go. Tennessee with a rebound. Bobby Mays on the dribble. Forced to pass. Chisholm almost just hammered that thing in. It was a ricochet. Now it's Vandy going the other way, and that's goaltending, and give the basket to Drake.
Again, you don't box off. And Hobson makes you pay. Again, he's a scorer. He's a shot maker. And all those guys with a high IQ understand on the sideline, we can't let that happen.
One of those guys with that 257 IQ that Jimmy was talking about.
They still have common sense.
Drake, boy, what a second half this kid's put together. Ball game. And his teammates are going out to meet him. He's equal his career high of 14 points against Central Arkansas earlier. 7 SEC road games. The Commodores have won 9 straight league home games. Something's going to give in front of 14,057 here over the next 10 minutes.
Defensively, I always think from a coaching standpoint, you have to talk defensively in practice loud enough to win on the toughest place to play on your schedule. This is one of the toughest places for Tennessee to play on their schedule. Their talk defensively must be loud enough.
Boy. Bobby Mays just lit it up to J.P. Prince, who's got 10 points.
They have been superb coming out of timeouts in this ball game, Tennessee, on both ends of the floor.
Drake, he's the hot hand, but that one's an air ball. And Chisholm pulls it down.
Right now we're under that 10-minute mark. That Vanderbilt's margin for error is getting slimmer and slimmer on the offensive end. They have to get points about 4 out of every 5 trips from here on out.
And you can't let Scotty Hobson go baseline because he can leap out of the gym on you. And he's had a big second half. Didn't score in the first half, and now he's got 11. Tinsley, reverse layup. Good move by Brad Tinsley. Beal meeting Mays at half court. Quick crossover dribble by Mays. Now Tyler Smith. Double team. Got rid of it to Prince. And he lays it in. Well, right now, nobody's contesting Tennessee inside. There's Tinsley flying in. And he's going to go to the free throw line.
The team, a lot of 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" guys, and their length just got them a basket on the other end. Tyler Smith, tall enough at 6'7" to jump up while he's double-teamed and find another 6'6" guy, J.P. Prince, at the opposite elbow. So a lot of times their length has been a problem defensively. That time it pays off offensively when they're in trouble.
Very seldom misses from the free throw line. An 80% free throw shooter knocks them both down. 57-46, still an 11-point Bulls. It's like every time Vanderbilt gets down to 9, They can't quite get over that hump. They trailed by 8 at intermission, 28-20. If you're just joining us in a low-scoring defensive half where they shot only 19% Vanderbilt from the floor. 10 on the shot clock. Mays that quick crossover dribble leaves it for Hobson for 3. Rebound Vanderbilt.
And this can't be an empty possession for Vandy. They at least have to get to the free throw strike.
There's a 3. That's not an empty possession.
No.
Hinkle. That's only his 6th three-pointer of the year. You talk about timing. A guy averaging 2.2 points a game just hit the 3 of the night so far.
I go inside if I'm Tennessee. On the road, the crowd's into the ball game. Go inside, at least get to the free throw stripe on this possession.
Tyler Smith is asking for the ball. Mays, tough attempt. No basket. Foul on Brian Williams.
But that's good offense by Tennessee to drive the ball at the rim. The call that time doesn't go their way, but Bruce Pearl liked his offense on that possession on the road.
Yeah, I said that Vanderbilt couldn't seem to get past the 9-point hump.
Vanderbilt has clawed their way back in without A.J. Ogilvy being involved offensively, and I've really praised Tennessee's shot selection in this ball game. I've talked about Vanderbilt's defense, and you look up Tennessee 51% in this ball game because of their shot selection, and they need to stay true to that with 7:19 to go. And can Vanderbilt win this ball game without the big Aussie being the leading scorer? Not easy for Vanderbilt to do.
Tennessee has shot 65% in the second half to keep it above 50, as Jimmy was talking about. They're 11 out of 17. Vanderbilt not bad, 53% this half, but that's trying to make up for 19% in the first half. 7 minutes remaining in an 8-point game. Here's the guy that hit the last 3.
Tinsley's a shot threat, and those are things. That's an empty possession now, Brad, for Vanderbilt. They cannot have empty possessions with under 7 to go. Down 57-49.
Points in the paint, all Tennessee, mostly Wayne Chisholm and J.P. Prince.
Bruce Pearl's done a good job at times going to his high flex offense, which is what they're in there a little bit. A little bit of false motion, almost trying to shorten the length of the game a little bit on the road. That's his version of getting control over chaos at times.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Here's Tatum. Runs out of real estate, has to put it up. He got the rim, but the rebound is Jermaine Beals.
That's a shot right there.
Boy, that would have been a huge 3. But Beal got his own miss. Tinsley will try a triple. And now it's Mays with a rebound. They had 2 3-pointers, didn't hit either. Hobson sailing across the lane, misses a shot. Drake and Ogilvy are waiting here in front of us to try to get back in the ball game on a stoppage of play.
You know what has hurt Tennessee is dribble drives. And Vanderbilt has not been able to drive that basketball against those orange defenders enough in this ball game.
And now you see Bobby Mays hold his palm of his hand up as if to say, let's take our time, let's take our time. And in the meantime, Ogilvy not even halfway to his average goal. I don't know that you and I have ever done a Vanderbilt game when he's only had 1 field goal at this stage anyway.
His points have come from the free throw stripe, and he gets 37% of his points on the year from the free throw stripe. Those are outstanding numbers. You want your post guy to get 30 to 35% of his points on the year from the free throw stripe. Ogilvy is above that ratio right now.
He attempted more free throws than anybody else in the SEC last year. And he gets the rebound there off the Chisholm miss. Still an 8-point game. They get it down to 6 with 5 to go, and they'll still have the crowd in the palm of their hand. 14,000. A lot of them wearing whites.
They just don't have a drive threat right now, Brad, so they're easier to defend against Tennessee that has struggled defending the drive.
And Whistleton, it's a miss. They have left opportunities out there, haven't they?
They've missed shots, and Tennessee's done a good job in their second shot defense of climbing on the glass and not giving Vanderbilt offensive rebounds.
Tennessee trying to stay close to Florida and Kentucky in the SEC. Mississippi State leading the West right now. We'll see them on Saturday nights in
This is 2 showdown next week on our air if they can win between now and then. What a monster ball game that'll be.
J.P. Prince with that line drive free throw. He doesn't even lift his feet up.
Brad, look where he lines up. He's cockeyed. He's off-centered.
Yep.
I mean, here's the center of the floor, and he's about a good 2 or 3 steps to that right side.
Well,
he's working for him.
He's left-handed, so I guess he thinks his left hand is close to the middle of the circle.
Yeah, and he's really cockeyed over there.
He hit them both.
Yeah.
So what do we know? 4.5 to go. 10-point game. And he's got to find offense, and now it's got to be in a hurry pretty soon.
J.P. Prince right here is the middle of the floor. And look where he lines up. He's way off-centered, but he has struggled over his career as a free throw shooter, and right now this season, that's where for some reason he feels the most comfortable. My circle also lines you up in front of that rim. And he might know where the nail is, but then he goes 2 feet to the right of the nail.
He's not nail-worthy.
No, he's not nail-worthy. You know, Vanderbilt's defense, Brad, is not one that really gets out and overplays and creates turnovers. That also bodes well for Tennessee to hang on to this lead right now.
They might get one there if the ball goes. Minutes remaining in the ball game. Tyler Smith will try it again. Almost had it swiped again. Ball still loose. And Wayne Chisholm fights his way through traffic to score. And he's fouled by Drake in the process.
Fiercely competitive guy is Tyler Smith. He gets his shot blocked, but comes right back in to keep the ball alive. And then Chisholm comes in to clean it up.
Makes you not want to go to class tomorrow. Chisholm will try for a 3-point play. He's got 20 to lead everybody in scoring.
You know, and he was the security guy in our Star Watch. Back when Tyler Smith was being sworn in to uphold his part as a Star Watch.
I saw him with the shades on.
Chisholm was the
muscle.
Yeah, he was the security detail.
Secret Service.
Secret Service.
Hasn't been secret tonight. He didn't start the game, and then he was not a secret at all. Hit his first 2 3-pointers. Hasn't really stopped since. King Gang, he's had a nice second half. 8 points for Steve. Got to get back in a hurry.
Great hustle points out of Tennessee in their transition.
Tab scoring quickly, and it's still a double-digit game as we're under 3.5 minutes now. Hinkle feeds a 4.5 as we check in with Reese Davis. Reese?
Brad, you've got a close one compared to what is going on in State College.
3:20 is all that remains. Tennessee has led virtually throughout the game. They're up by 10, 63-53. Vanderbilt's won 9 straight SEC home games. That is in serious jeopardy unless they find some offense, Jimmy.
Well, it is. And again, Ogilvie, when he can't get his average of 16 points a game, it's a real burden on the rest of the team to pick up the slack. They have lacked 3-point shooting. They are 5 out of 20 in this ball game, Brad, 25%. I credit Tennessee's defense. I also have to factor in Vandy just not confident in their stroke right now on that perimeter, kind of hesitant.
He's having trouble from the free throw line, and that certainly isn't helping the cause. Sports Center follows us in about 3 minutes and change. All the scores and highlights. They start to look ahead to the Super Bowl between the Cardinals and the Steelers.
To close this game out by playing with poise, keeping the ball for the most part in the hands of Tyler Smith. Maybe not your best ball handler, but certainly a good ball handler, but he is your toughest guy. And right now, if you're Bruce Pearl, you trust your toughest guy on the floor to close out the game, and that would be Tyler Smith.
Remember, he's the guy that called the team meeting, the players meeting. As Janine was talking about, he's also the guy that Jimmy called the jerky of the group. You can chew on him all day long, and he just takes it and relays it to his teammates. And he's an all-SEC performer without a doubt, even if he doesn't score a lot. Sometimes he does.
Be different in this ball game. Yesterday evening, their swagger was different when I saw them. Today, this afternoon, and their shoot around, it was different. And sometimes a team meeting called by a guy like Tyler Smith that everybody trusts, and everybody believes in, and everybody says, you're our leader. What you say right now is very important to us. their swagger is completely different than what we saw last week in Knoxville against Kentucky.
They got swaggered by Jody Meeks last week.
Yep.
Tyler Smith, tough catch.
We will get to see Jody Meeks again next Tuesday at Ole Miss.
Right.
He had a very quiet 22 or 24 against Georgia on Sunday.
I was going to say, even his quiet scoring is getting louder all the time. And Tyler Smith, Jimmy said, get it in his hands. Got a chance for a three-point play again as Taylor picks up the foul.
I really like how Tennessee is closing out this ball game, finding Tyler Smith, their toughest guy, their best tough shot maker, right around the rim. So 2 out of the last 3 possessions, it's ended with Tyler Smith putting points on the boards. That's how you close out on the road.
Look at that, 7 and 5. He has the only triple-double in Tennessee basketball history against UNC Asheville earlier this year. Went 12 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He's not going to do that tonight, but he might help his team just ice things away here. As he hits the free throw, his team calls a timeout, and they match their biggest advantage of the night, up 14, 68-54 as we send it to the studio. Neil Everett and Linda Cohn. All right, Linda, Neil, we'll see you in about 2 minutes, 38 seconds. 68-54 if this stands. It will put Tennessee at 3-1 and keep them within a half game of Florida and Kentucky. They'll be playing tomorrow night. Vanderbilt will drop to 1-3. Those are the current standings. I'm saying if this lead for Tennessee holds out. Georgia on the bottom at 0-3. The other side in the West, it's Mississippi State, the leader, with a 3-0 record.
Brad, none of those teams are ranked in the top 25 right now, but certainly this common sense index when I watch ball games tells me that Florida and Kentucky and Tennessee are top 25 type teams, especially the way Tennessee responded on the road tonight in Nashville.
Quick timeout. Cuts the lead to 12 as Drake scores again. Drake has been brilliant in this second half. This is a new Florida, and every week they get a little bit better. So watch out for those guys.
Nick Calaith is playing as well as anybody in this league, and Billy Donovan's getting his young big kids to play. And I go back to my request for Mr. President to change some things about the game, and one of them would be to appoint a nonpartisan committee to handle that top 25, because I think the perception sometimes of leagues and schools are influenced by that top 25 poll, whether you're in it or not. And there are some coaches out there that just simply won't vote for another team because they don't like the head coach. And you look right now at the SEC with Kentucky and Florida, Tennessee. I mean, how about Arkansas? Arkansas beats Oklahoma and Texas.
Tough in their own conference. JP Prince. Okay, JP, you can stand anywhere you want. Just line drive those babies in there. You can stand way over in the corner of the circle. We don't care.
Tough night for both Ogilvie and Jeffrey Taylor, 2 guys that Kevin Stallings counts on for double figures. Their offense was not exactly clicking, but Tennessee's defense, we talked about in the first half, Brad, this is the best Tennessee defense we've seen all season.
No doubt. A whistle and a foul between Taylor and Ogilvie. They should be good. Has not been the case tonight. Taylor's got 6 and Ogilvie's got 7. So they're not even halfway to what they normally would produce as far as scores. Wayne Chisholm goes out with 20 points and 7 rebounds. He always seems to play well when we have him on the air, doesn't he?
They can close this game out, which they're on the verge of doing. Do they absorb everything Bruce Pearl tells them in the locker room now, and do they remember what got them this victory and their victory over the weekend against a good South Carolina club?
Yeah, you don't go back and say, let's have another players-only meeting. Those only work once in a while.
Right.
Now you listen to your coach, and you just keep working as hard as you have tonight, and that might be good enough to win a lot of ball games for Tennessee. And they got Memphis next. Remember, it was flip-flopped last year. They played Memphis, beat them, went to #1 in the country, then came in here 48 hours later and got beat at Memorial Gym.
That is a tough stretch. Memphis, LSU, and Florida, Arkansas in the bunch. And Memphis, since John Calipari, one of those good coaches, can identify a problem, great coaches can fix it. He saw a problem and he moved Tyreek Evans to the point. And now defensively, Memphis has an identity. And offensively, they're a little bit more fluid, and they are getting better every day. A team that will be a handful, if not 2 handfuls, come March.
by Tyler Smith in the second half. He had 2 points in the first half. Now he's given his team the 14-point bulge again. Double dribble on the Commodores. That won't help the cause.
Well, it's a young Vanderbilt team that, for the most part, of several guys for Kevin Stallings tonight, their first time to play in the rivalry game against Tennessee. And you can't get too high. You certainly don't want to get beyond the magic level. They were a little tight to start the ball game. It's a Vanderbilt team that is built for the future with everybody on the floor coming back next year.
Had they not missed so many shots in close in the first maybe 6 minutes of the game, this might be an entirely different story. But as it is, they missed so many in close, and they've had to try to dig themselves out of that hole ever since and haven't been able to.
At the line for Tennessee, Bobby Mays.
Bobby Mays doesn't score a lot, about 10 points a game, has only 3 points in this one, but he's run the floor very well tonight.
You know, I like our odds of the new president influencing college basketball, because he's going to convert in the White House the bowling alley into a basketball court. Right?
He wants to fix the BCS first. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate. Remember, he's got to get up tomorrow morning early, eat breakfast, and then become the president.
And go to work.
And go to work. And he's going, now what do I do?
But you know what? He's like great head coaches. He has the ability to motivate people to action. And he has a lot of action on his plate right now to get done. I know that.
Well, he surrounded himself with some good assistant coaches.
He has.
The all-presidential last name team.
John Adams, the coordinator of officials. He started off in Division II officiating, worked his way up through the Big Ten. And he's a guy that I think has common sense when he talks to his officials across the country. He's always just a cell phone call away from guys like us. Myself, that's an analyst, when I have a question. I think John Adams is a great hire by the NCAA to head up the officials in our game right now. It's a pleasure to see him this evening.
Tyler Smith has hit 7 straight free throws, and all of a sudden he's on his average. And he had 1 field goal in the first half. So you never count him out. And in this case, Tennessee is going to count out Vanderbilt the next minute and 20 seconds. Some of the guys that don't see a lot of action are in there right now, as Kevin Stallings knows this one is in the books. And the Commodores are going to drop to 12-6 and 1-3 in the conference. Jamie Graham in there. He's the football player. Sophomore, only athlete in the SEC that plays both sports, and played a lot at both wide receiver and running back for Coach Johnson's team that went on and won the Gaylord Hotels Music City Bowl over Boston College. So this is the 3rd game he's played in since coming over from the football team.
He's a heck of an athlete. He's played defensive back, wide receiver, and then they've moved him to tailback for that bowl game.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
I love Vanderbilt's bowl game. They took a bus trip about 6 miles across town.
Yeah.
And stayed at the...
Had a good crowd. And got a big win.
Yeah.
You don't say Vandy and bowl wins that often. Coach Johnson did a great job with them this year.
But Brad, I'm very impressed with what Tennessee did tonight on this floor.
Yep.
Defensively, they weren't beaten off the drive. I thought they showed great poise offensively. Their shot selection was very good. They didn't force shots. They were patient. I'm very impressed with what the Big Orange did traveling over on Interstate 40 for this ball game.
I think it's after what we saw last Tuesday and what Jody Meeks did to them, and I think they got ripped by everybody in the country for not playing defense. Jimmy's right. Tonight they came and played defense, and they've been very consistent offensively. Wayne Chisholm didn't start the game, but he starred in the game. Tyler Smith at the end, along with Bobby Mays and company, just trying to dribble out the final seconds. And Tennessee will go to 12-5, 2-1 in the conference, and they'll stay within striking distance of Florida and Kentucky in the SEC East. So the 174th version of Tennessee and Vanderbilt goes with 0.1 second remaining to the Tennessee Volunteers.
Brad,
as everybody was ready to shake hands and go home, and we still got to touch the basketball one more time.
The Tennessee program, partner, that has too much pride under Bruce Pearl to just go away without a fight in this SEC.
Yep. So the final score, Tennessee 76, Vanderbilt 63. For Janine Edwards, Jimmy Dykes, I'm Brad Nessel. Don't forget, SportsCenter is coming up next with Linda Cohn and Neil Everett. For more on our game, you can tune in to ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. SportsCenter next.